The Marvel Cinematic Universe have a list as long as your arm of feature films, and with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we've now hit number 28, and we're currently in phase 4 of the MCU with 5 films released so far. So we're going to rank them from worst to best, starting with number 5 being The Eternals. On base level, The Eternals had quite an interesting premise with a group of ancient beings living on Earth for thousands of years, seeing lots of different events throughout that time. But with so many potential destinations and time periods, and not to mention 10 different Eternals introduced here, the film really struggled to find its focus. Like, it's been some time now since the film came out, and I don't think I can even provide you names for even half of the Eternals. And I think when you are introducing that amount of characters, it would have been better as a Disney Plus show, because then you can really go in depth with some of these characters with their relationships and give some time to those which didn't get enough time in the film. But at the same time, I do understand that they would want a big budget film to show these grand locations on screen. However, that did not do enough for me to make The Eternals a film to remember, and that is why it is at number 5. In at number 4, we have Black Widow. Starting with positives, I was glad that Black Widow finally got her own standalone film, and I was also very happy to see her sister get introduced, played brilliantly by Florence Pugh. And I gotta say, I was quite excited for the film because I am a big fan of the spy thriller genre. But unfortunately, this was another film that didn't reach its potential, as the best scenes involved the two sisters interacting, but everything else was pretty meh. Especially Ray Winston's villain, who's got to be one of the worst MCU villains to date. And the climax of the film did get a bit all too silly for me. So yeah, I think if this film did come out a bit earlier in the MCU when it had a bit more relevance, it might have gone down a bit better. But at the point it did come out, unfortunately for Black Widow, it was a little bit too little too late. To number 3 now, we have Shong-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. With this film, I think it did achieve what it set out to do, and that was to introduce Shong-Chi into the MCU. And it also gave a fresh feel to the action scenes, with the kung fu being very engaging to watch, in particular the bus scene. I think the dynamic between Shong-Chi and Katie worked quite well, because you had Katie played by Awkwafina be that comedy relief. In the past with some films, Marvel have wanted all the characters to be funny, and it doesn't really work when you get to those serious moments, because you got to try and get that tone back to that level. So yeah, I do think they did it better in this film. So when we did get to those final moments between the father and the son, we did feel those stakes a bit. And if we compare with other MCU villains, I think Tony Leung as Shang-Chi's father was a pretty good villain. So yeah, nothing groundbreaking with this one, but it did a fine job in what it wanted to do. We've arrived at number 2, and that is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. In a previous video, we did look at the second Doctor Strange film and look at a few of the different choices they made during that film. But to summarise my thoughts, I thought Multiverse of Madness had quite a few issues with it, but it was still an entertaining film. And when it got it right, and I was so happy to see Wanda fully embrace the Scarlet Witch, and she was really awesome in this film. Doctor Strange is one of my favourite characters from the MCU, so it's great to see him now as a main player of it and to see his story unfold further. The director Sam Raimi has said there could have been another 30 to 40 minutes added onto this film, and one day I'd love to see what that looks like, and also I'd love to see what it looked like before the reshoots happened, because they definitely changed a lot in this film over the time it was made. So yeah, this film was quite a car crash, with a film with flames going here and there, but like a car crash, you can't take your eyes off it. So we come to our number 1, and I think a lot of other people's number 1, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. This film was a real treat for Spidey fans, as it brought together a story which crafted the entirety of the Spider-Man universe together. We had some great cameos, and they weren't just an empty gesture, they were actually integral to the plot as well. The movie still had some of those cringy Marvel jokes, but when we got to those serious moments, they were really impactful and really well done. And it was great to see Tobey and Andrew come back, but Tom Holland really made it his own in this film, and it's the first time I was really convinced that this man is Spider-Man. So yeah, that's my ranking for the first 5 films from the phase 4 of the MCU. But let me know your rankings in the comments below. I'd love to see your opinions on it. If you enjoy these ranking videos, let me know with a like down below. And while you're down there, feel free to check the description for other links and subscribe for more. And I will see you in the next one.